Okay, so we all know that buying subject to is, a good way to buy property. Okay, right? But how many of us have actually really done it? You know? Yeah, okay, some. Okay, once you do it, you realize that, well, for me especially, I realized that I could help somebody in whatever situation they were in. It was like I don't know, the golden egg or something because I felt invincible. Once you can do that, you can do anything, I think. So uh, it is absolutely my favorite way to buy houses. We have, with no, we don't actually, since my husband had the great idea of retiring from the Austin Fire Department, um, we don't qualify for conventional financing. So, but somehow, by be doing sub two, we have 7 rentals, 3 of which are in an IRA, and 4 that we own outside of the IRA, all bought sub two. And but besides that, I mean, those are just the ones I wanted to keep. I prefer to buy sub two, even if I'm going to fix and flip it, because it's way cheaper than hard money. And the people are way nicer than the hard money guys. So, um, except for, okay, sorry about that. I haven't used Scott. I need to use Scott, okay? Um, but I mean, you can't beat, the payments on the, taking over somebody's financing. So, anyways, there are, I have like this huge, checklist of things that I get. But, what comes down to it is just like there's a lot of pros for buying subject to. And, you know, and then those we all know, but there's some pros even for the sellers too. Okay, so especially if they are delinquent on their payments, then you can bring them, get them caught up and take over their payments. There is nothing that they can do for the next 2 years to improve their credit. I mean, they can't go out and get a car loan. They can't get a credit card. They can't even get, for sure can't get another home loan. So what are they going to do to improve their credit? If they sell the house to you, you can immediately improve their credit. I mean, within months. So, so definitely, always play that part. What are they going to do? They can't, they're going to have to rent for the next 2 years anyways. So, um, um, obviously you can do more deals by doing them, getting them sub two. So the cons of sub two are really limited to, on my list, almost everything has to do with insurance on it. That has been like the hardest thing to deal with on it. But having a insurance guy that you really do trust and that can really handle the situation and knows sub two makes all the difference in the world. So, but I have come up with a couple of forms that also help, that you can have the seller. I send them to the title company. I say, can you have the seller sign all these when they close? One of them is a change of address form, that just says changes their address to your address that you can just fax into the bank. It says you are authorized to make this change to my account, and they sign that. And another one is to change the insurance carrier. I have them fill out, just a form, changes the insurance carrier. They are authorized to accept that change. That helps a lot. So I kind of learned these things the hard way, and then now I just get these forms signed, and then I always have those. And then I do a cancellation of insurance form too. So I don't want to be redundant on like going over the different things that you need, to do a sub two deal. I do have a checklist that if you want to write down my email address, I'll be glad to send you like a checklist that, of all the forms that you need to gather when you go to your appointment. My email address is Jana, Jana, at firefightersbuyhouses.com. Okay? Firefighters buy houses. Yeah, firefighters. Hmm. And my name's Jana, Jana. Okay? And but the main thing is when somebody calls you and you're always trying to make the most money that you can, or turning any deal, any phone call into money, is when you're doing the interview of them on the phone, just ask, are they open to the idea of owner financing? And 90% of the time they say no. unless you market to San Antonio, and then they say sure. Right? But anyways, but then say, well, if I paid you your equity in the house, would you be okay with me taking over your financing? And you'd be amazed that rewording it like that, and they'll say, oh, well, I guess if I get my money, I don't care, So anyways, but definitely if there's even a slight interest that they might want to do that, I don't care what the deal looks like. If they owe what the house is worth, I just go, just go and get it under contract. That is the deal. You just have to figure it out after you get it under contract. It may take a week to get all the real numbers in and then decide what you're going to do with it. But definitely, if they're open to it, it's definitely worth going and getting under contract. So, okay?
Anything else you want to add?
No, that's it. But just send me an email, and I'll be glad to send you a checklist. Okay?
Awesome.
Okay.
Thank you, Jana. So what I wanted to say about buying subject to is like Jana, that is my favorite way to purchase properties. And for you guys who are kind of new at this, there are two things that are recorded when you buy a property and when you buy a property with a mortgage. Number one, the deed, right? And the other thing that's recorded is the promissory note. Those are two separate documents, and they are recorded separately. So you can take the deed to a property and leave the seller's existing note in place, and that's the power of buying subject to, because if you're buying a $150,000 house, you don't have to get a $150,000 loan or come to the closing table with $150,000 cash. You can just reinstate the seller's existing loan, which is typically only $5,000 to $25,000, take over the payments on their loan, add it to your rental portfolio, or fix it and flip it. It's a very powerful way to buy and sell properties.